Why should you practice drawing circles and ellipses? This was a drawing exercise that was originally suggested by Watt's Atelier, and the idea was to warm up by drawing circles and ellipses. One of the advantages of the exercise is that you can always do it. You don't need reference. And an additional advantage is that you can you train your hand, you become better at high hand coordination, and you will often use the circles and ellipses more often than you think for lots of things that you can draw. Lots of things have round forms or are cylindrically symmetric. Before I continue, I want to mention that I have a newsletter where I share all my drawing exercises. I invite you to check it out. I send out an article every Sunday with drawing exercises and some tips. So on to the video. First, it's a good idea to sort of draw a spring to get your hand in the right motion. As you can see, I also did here. And then try drawing lots of circles and ellipses on the page and keep them a distance apart. You will see why later, but leave some space in between. And after that you can sort of turn the spheres, the circles into spheres basically, because those are already round. And you can turn the ellipses into either cylinders or cones. An important thing to realize is that the top of a cylinder or a cone is actually usually quite flat until you start. Those forms have to rotate quite a bit before they start to become more circular. What you can do is you can grab a glass, or you can look at a 3D model, which I also have on screen, where you can see if you rotate the cylinder or if you rotate the glass, then you can really see that the caps of the cylinders or the cones really only start becoming more like a circle if you're really almost looking on top of it. So when there's a strong foreshortening basically. Just fill pages with that, and the cool thing about this is that if you start doing it well, you end up with beautiful pages. I think it looks nice to have a whole page full of spheres and cylinders and cones. And that's an important thing of a drawing exercise. One is that you enjoy the activity, that you enjoy the mark making itself. One of the part of this exercise is that it helps you get into the flow, so that afterwards, when your mind is in the right state, you can continue going on to the drawing exercise that you wanted to do. But and then you already have this page to look at, and you can really look beautiful. It's an important part of the process. It's the reward that makes you want to draw again next day if you have a nice result. So it's one of the things I want to try to do with the drawing exercise on this channel right now, is to present the drawing exercises that are very likely to yield nice results, so that you are motivated to draw again the next day. And this is one of them. It's a great warm-up drawing exercise where you practice your hand. You can do this without reference. You can become much better at circles and ellipses. Like I said, you do it very often. One thing you can do is, for example, that will show you in another video, is simplify real-world objects, break them down into boxes, spheres, cylinders, and cones. And so it's actually a very useful skill to be able to quickly draw cylinders and those kinds of things. And spheres. For example, you can create a human body, a mannequin, that's sort of approximated with these primitive forms. You can approximate everything with these primitive forms. And one useful use of that is if you construct an actual object from these primitive forms, you can then start adding detail. But because you have the primitive forms in place, you sort of have the right proportions and the right locations for things to add details to. But for now, I hope you enjoy trying out this drawing exercise. But that's why it's useful to practice drawing circles and ellipses as a warm-up. Okay, thank you for watching. And again, I would like to mention my newsletter. I hope you will check it out. It's an article goes out every Sunday with a drawing exercise. I hope you will check out my other videos too. Thank you. Bye bye.